We are discussing economy, right? In that basics. What was the last topic we discussed yesterday? Devaluation of currency. Have you revised it? The yesterday's topics. $1 is equal to 50 rupees. $1 is equal to 100 rupees. If it is $1 is equal to 50 rupees, that is strong or weak? Strong. If it is $1 is equal to 100 rupees, weak. Yavadu dollar? Rupee in front of dollar. Okay. Yesterday we started with this topic. Forex reserve. What are the four commodities which is there in the forex reserve? Four major currencies. What are the four major currencies?
USD, Euro, Pound.
Yen. Y-E-N. Yen. Okay. What are the four powerful countries from the perspective of GDP? USA first. Okay. Then second China, not Europe. Next, Europe Europe is not a single country, right? So we will not consider entire Europe as one country. From the country's perspective, what is the top 5 countries? In terms of GDP, not GNP, there is lot many differences. USA, China, no. USA, China, Japan, Germany, next, fourth one. Japan after Germany. Next, India. Last year, India was in a 6th rank. But after some efforts, India crossed UK. Now it's in 5th stage. UK went for 6th. So British ಗಿಂತ ನಾವು ಮುಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ GDP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ. See, this is GDP, okay. But what is the population of the British? What is the population of UK and what is the population of India? So per capita income, if we consider per capita income, maybe we are the last. Okay. Fourth one, Germany. Japan, Germany, India, UK. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, this is the countries. See, India, because of this huge population, that we are considering GDP, it's the 5th largest. If we consider per capita income, we are very low because our population is too big. Population size is too big. Okay, this is it. Next, what we discussing? Okay, what is that? Hello, ready? Okay. What is that? Okay. Next, what is the topic? Helta hogi. Hedging. What is hedging? Risk of inflation. Avoiding risk of inflation. That is what hedging. Next. SDR. What is that? Special drawing rights. Okay. Next. RTP. That is the one of the forex reserve commodity. What is this? Reserve tranche position. What is that? Reserve tranche position.
If the countries, all the other backups are lost, they can use this by
What is that? That is the procedure. What is that actually?
They will invest the money.
What is that? What is RTP? What is SDR? What is SDR? Not full form. What is SDR? issued by IMF. That is a fake currency of IMF. What is SDR? Fake currency of IMF. And what is RTP? Reserve trunk position means what? The source coming from? What is RTP?
To become the member of
Huh. That is a membership fees, considered as a membership. Like the amount which you park at the IMF while you becoming a member. Right? That is a kind of our deposits only. RTP is a kind of our deposit. Each country's deposits in IMF. Okay, RTP. SDR means it's a fake currency of IMF. Next, what is venture capitals? Brownfield or greenfield? Brownfield. Angel, greenfield. Seed capital, riskier. Normally, businessman will invest in which kind of investment or which kind of businesses? Brown. That too venture and sometime angel. Seed capitalists are the politicians, are the one who hold black money. Next. Bond. What is bond? Bond is something, bond is something, the creditor is holding that and debitor is depositing that to the creditor. Right? And what is the criteria which is there in the bond? Face value, maturity date, interest rate, year, everything, right? Next. G6 means government security, means the bond which is issued, bond which is like released by the government, like RBI, are called the G6, and which is so powerful. Like G6 is a mostly accepted thing, or private bonds, or which is permanent, which is standard. G6. Then also, why people went for private bonds? More profit. The difference is more in private. In government, stability is more, but there is no more profit. Right? The face value and the actual cost is somewhat same. There is no that much difference. Means there is no yield. Bond yield is less. You can consider bond yield. YEILD. Yield means something, the profit which is arised out of the bond is called bond yield. Margin. The margin, another name, bond yield. The margin, the profit which you get out of the bond. The margin or the profit which you get out of the bond transaction are called bond yield. The bond yield of the private bonds are more than the bond yield of the government bonds or government securities. Okay. Next. Liquid currency, gold. G6 is also highly liquid in India. At whatever time you can sell your G6. If you want urgent money, you can sell your G6. If it is a private bond, you can't able to sell in its your urgency. So, which is highly liquid? Maybe profit is less, but G6 is highly liquid than the private bonds. Maybe profit is less, but G6 is highly liquid in private bonds, right? Next. Doing business index released by ease of doing business index. Ease of doing business index or doing business index was released by World Bank. What is the criteria? Population, economy, currency, law and order, labor laws, constitution, political situation, environment, everything. Okay, next. What is crony capitalism? It's a negative concept. Very good. Then the higher administrator or higher deciding authorities or higher politicians, like the politicians in the central government, they will favor the few to capitalists, few handful of capitalists, and that is where difference starts. Right? It's a negative concept. Government should always work on a decentralization of power, right? But what is happening? Crony capitalism means capitalism is monopolizing, shrinking to some very few hands. So that is not good. Next, remittances. What is remittances? What is the spelling of remittance? R-E-M-I-T-T, remittances, okay? N-A-N-C-S, remittance. What is remittance? No profit here. Remittances is nothing but the amount which is sent by our family members, one who are settled in abroad, right? Or one who are settled in foreign. This is for the private consumption, not for the investment. See, FDI is an investment in India, but remittances is private consumption, not as an investment. Okay, I'll come to that while discussing current account and capital account. I will again come to that. Next.
Dollar and rupee.
Okay, we discussed a lot many things regarding dollar and rupee, right? Devaluation of currency, appreciation of currency, depreciation of currency, everything. What is disguised unemployment?
Disguised unemployment means where 3 members should be working there, 5 members in there.
Normally we can get to see in agriculture, right? How if 1 acre areca plantation is there, consider, if father only maintaining, after COVID, son also came and joined for that. But the output, the product would be same. Means before 1 person, today 2 persons. This second person who joined later, he is a disguised unemployment. He look like he employed, but there is no extra output. This is a disguised unemployment. And which is highest in India. Disguised unemployment is highest in India. Disguised. Something guised means what? Something guised. ಅಡಗಿ ಕೂತ ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟ ಡಿಸ್ಗೈಸ್ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ತರ ಕಾಣ್ತಾನೆ. Actually, this is a number of people, like this is the extra number of people who are working in a same kind of work in which that much workers was not needed actually, practical. The extra number of workers who are working in the same field are disguised unemployment, disguised unemployees. Okay. What is the last topic we discussed yesterday? Devaluation of currency. Okay. Like oil import, oil export, adella discuss madidvi alva. Like what happens during oil imports? If $1 is equal to 50 rupees, is it good, favorable environment for India, or $1 is equal to 100 rupees? Is it favorable or positive for the India? For oil import, is it $1 is equal to 50% is good for India, $1 is equal to 50 rupees is good for India, or $1 is equal to 100 rupees is good for India?
$1 is equal to 50 rupees.
50 rupees, because we are importing, oil is importing. When oil is importing, rupee should be stronger. Rupee should be stronger. If it is weaker, we have to pay more. Here we have to pay less. See, consider, just imagine 1 barrel of petroleum is equal to $1. Assume for the argument, $1 is equal, 1 barrel of petroleum is equal to $1. If $1 is equal to 50 rupees means, just we have to pay only 50 rupees. If $1 is equal to 100 rupees means, you have to pay for $1 of 1 barrel of petroleum, you have to pay 100 rupees. Same, commodity same, the goods is same. But our money, you have to pay more if $1 is equal to 100 rupees. So, our import got benefited when $1 is equal to 50 rupees. Our export got hurts, right? Yesterday we discussed. Next, what is trade? This is also I discussed it, right? Trade deficit. What is trade deficit and trade surplus? Yes. If export is more than import, then
Trade deficit.
if export is more than import, that is trade surplus. If our import is more than our export, that is trade deficit. India is a trade deficit country. India become trade deficit country not because of our tertiary sector. India become trade deficit country because of our secondary sector. Because our manufacturing is too poor. Our manufacturing is too poor. We are importing all our manufactured products as well as our huge consumption of petroleum. India is the highest petroleum consumption country in the world, and there is no petroleum resources in India. Very few petroleum extraction plants, like one in Assam and another one is some of the Himalayan foothills states. Rest of the, and another one is Mumbai Heights, that is the offshore, and rest of the around 97 to 98% of the petroleum we are importing only, right? So this makes our trade deficit. In terms of tertiary, we are way far surplus than rest of the countries, because we have lot many IT companies in India. This is, if you look at Karnataka, if you look at Bangalore only, we are very surplus in terms of IT, tertiary. Okay, so next. What take heading as a regulation and deregulation. This is a simple concept. Regulation and deregulation. Something regulated means what? Who is the regulator here in the economy? Government. You can say government, right? If government involving in setting the price of the commodity, that kind of market or that kind of economy is called regulated market or regulated economy. If the market force it itself set the price of the economy, or it itself set the price of the commodity which is there in the any kind of market, then we can call it as a unregulated economy or unregulated market. If the existing government is the price setter, then we call it as a regulating. If the market is the price setter, we call it as a unregulated or deregulated. Deregulated market will set the price. Regulated, the government, the existing government set up the price. We call it as a regulated. This is not for Indian concept, like not only for the Indian concept. This is for the worldwide. Regulated and deregulated. Which is social and which is capital? Heli nona. Apply here. Regulated is social. Deregulated is capital. So Western countries are regulated or deregulated? Western countries are deregulated. Western countries are mostly deregulated. Generally, Asian countries, now this is not regulated, but generally from the history, the Asian countries are somewhat closer kind of economy, right? Somewhat social kind of economy, right? So Asian countries generally regulated now. What is demonetization? Yesterday we talked about devaluation of rupee and depreciation of rupee, and another thing is demonetization. India did demonetization or not? India experienced demonetization. One day our Prime Minister in the middle of the night came over online and he told, "Mere pyare deshwasiyo, from this night 500 rupees का नोट और 1000 rupees का नोट नहीं चल रहा है इंडिया में." ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. That is what demonetization. Demonetization, define demonetization. No, define it. What is demonetization? Huh? Define demonetization. Demonetization. What is monetization? Like that piece of paper, if it is a legally authorized, government is agreed for that value, face value, then it is a monetized currency. That paper become monetized currency, right? Demonetization means the same legal authority, one who agreed for its face value, is disagreeing now. Means the 500 rupees, 1000 rupees notes are from today is not like the face value which is there for that note is not continuous. Like we are taking back the face value. We are taking back the face value. That is demonetization. My question is, this is not important for exam, this kind of definition and all. Is it failed project or successful project? Demonetization. What is the aim of demonetization? First of all, when it started, not corruption. It is about black money, right? Is it worked in India? Is it working? According to politicians, this is well worked. According to economists, this is the utterly flop program. The reason is, whatever they told, that was not reached. That's it. According to economists, there is lot many positives, but according to economists, whatever they promised, that was not reached. If somebody tells like, yes, we are reached, and they are asking, give me the proof. There is no proof, but it is indirectly having lot many benefits that everybody know. Because most of the black monies which is concentrated in like some of the caves, some of the trunks, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂತದ್ದು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮನಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂತು. ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತರ್ತೀವಿ? ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ತರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಎಕನಾಮಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಫೇಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಅವರ್ ಮೋದಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ because of this demonetization we will able to brought some foreign we were able to brought some black money which is there in the Swiss bank anta, and that was not done, right? Adaita Swiss bank inda money ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, right? So according to our economists, this is the failed project. Being a UPSC aspirant, you also should write demonetization is a failed project. Your conclusion should be demonetization should be failed is the failed project according to our economists. Because the aim of the demonetization is the restore the black money, and that was not happened. At least we not able to give a proof like it is restored the black money. If in the interview they ask, is it a good project or failed project, the aim, the intention of the project is very good, but it is not reached its objective. That's it. Your answer should be the aim is good, but it has not reached its objective. Okay. What is formalization? Take subheading is a formalization. Formal economy. Formal, F-O, not here. Formalization means what? Formal and informal. Something formal means what? Its own procedure, okay? Something formal means something regulated, something within the structure, right? Formal economy and informal economy. Formal credit and informal credit. Formal loan and informal loan. Now tell me, what is formalization? Yes, something, the transaction is under the control of the government or under the purview of the government. What is happening? That is formalization. If it is informal, like not under the authority of anybody, like it is not under the control of anybody, it is on the outside the purview of the government, that is informal, right? Money lender, informal. Bank transaction, formal. What is money lender? ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಕಡೆ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಲೆಕ್ಕಪತ್ರ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾರು ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್? Financial inclusion, like somebody who don't have any bank account and he used to get loan from the money lender before. Today he is having his own bank account and he is getting loan from different schemes of the government through bank, like a formally structured bank. So it is a formalization. Before he was informal, like informal economy alli idru, ಈಗ formal economy ಬಂದ್ರು. So formalization means the transaction is under the purview of the government. Formalization means the transaction is under the purview of the government. Before chai wala prefer hard cash. Now he requests us to do Phone Pay or Google Pay. If we pay him through hard cash, there is no transaction records. If we pay him through Google Pay or Phone Pay, there will be transaction records in the government. Bank means government only, in the government. So which is formal? The today's Google Pay and Phone Pay is formal than before, right? So this is called formalization of the economy. There are number of ways for the formalization of economy. Digital India is one of the, or Jandan account is another kind, or accessing the bank accounts to the last mile of the country is another. See, these are the different ways to do formalization in the economy. Okay. Normally, some small scale industries like cottage industries and all, like they are informal before, like they never used to pay income taxes and everything. But government gave one plan or strategy for them, like we will lend you loan. You can improve your setup, like cottage industry setup. We will lend you loan with less minimum interest. With less minimum interest, sometimes subsidy also. If they lend 1 crore loan, again they have to pay back only 80 lakhs. This kind of this scheme. But government is asking them to come under the formal kind of economy. Means your transaction should be recorded in the government and you have to pay income tax. This is another style of doing formalization in the industrial sector. Okay, chai wala transaction through phone pay, Google Pay. This is the kind of formalization. In industry, giving subsidy, that is another kind of formalization. And in the rural sector, making them to be part of the bank transaction, like opening their bank account, Jandan account, that is another. So there are different kinds of formalization. The procedure is different, but the final aim is what? From unorganized to organized. What is DCT? This is another kind of DBT which is there in the Jandan account. What is DBT? Direct benefit transfer. The benefit of the government should directly transfer to the, like one who are needed. This is the DBT which is there in the Jandan account. What is DCT? Nothing but the same. Benefit in terms of benefit, cash. Direct cash transfer. Instead of giving, food, instead of giving government subsidies through government, this is directly sending money into their bank account. Okay. These are the, like ನನಗೆ ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಮುಂದಿನ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ನಂಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Okay, disguised unemployment ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ನನಗೆ. And another kind of unemployment, secondary unemployment, that is also you need it for rest of our topics. Take heading as a secondary unemployment. Sorry, secondary poverty, not unemployment. Secondary poverty. Secondary poverty. What is poverty?
Lack of basic necessities in daily.
That is economic poverty. Is it poverty economic concept? Not only economic concept.
Even social concept.
It is a social concept, right? Sometime the person may be rich, but he may be he may be not getting government services. He is lacking something, right? He is lacking from the government services. From the government service perspective, he is a poor. Sometimes he may be rich, but he may lack his health facility. He may lack his educational facility. From education health perspective, he is a poor. So poor is not only economic concept. Poor is something, or poverty is something big, something wide concept. Okay, first of all, what is secondary poverty? Secondary poverty is nothing but it is not a poverty actually. He is rich only, but because of its bad habits like gutka, matka, chatka, these kind of bad habits, suttamar, because of these bad habits, from the above poverty line, he came below poverty line. Because of his bad habits, his income is good only before, but because of his bad habits, he himself become poor. He come down the graph. His graph of economy comes down to below poverty level. Then we call it as the secondary poverty. Actually, his income is more than the above poverty line, but because of his wonderful habits, he become poor. Again, that is a kind of addiction, not able to stop. Secondary poverty means gone. That's all. What is Gig economy, take heading as a gig economy. Tell me. Part-time job, very good. Tell me the examples. Hmm? Okay, like 3 hour work, 5 hour work, only evening, only morning. Okay. Ola driver. Next. Delivery boy. Okay. ನಂಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್? Informal. Then how it affects the government? Like if it is informal economy, gig economy is prevailing. Consider gig economy. If you go to metropolitan cities like Bangalore, there is more than the formal economy, gig economy is prevailing in today's Bangalore. So how it affects on the government? Is it good for the economic health perspective or bad? This is my question. Bad. Why? There is no job security. What happens if there is no job security? What happens to the political perspective? What happens to the government? Or what happens to the nation as a whole? No? See, what is DPSP? Director Principal of State Policy. This is the duty of the government to look after his citizens, to look after the entire population. If his entire population means majority of the youths of the country is doing their jobs in gig economy, means one which don't have any social security, and it is the duty of the government to give them the social security, right? So government responsibility is going to increases, and there is no revenue which is generated out of this gig economy. There is no revenue for the government. Maybe little amount of revenue that is not able to give them a social security. Our entire population or half of our population of our youths, if they are indulging in gig economy, means from that gig economy government is not getting much revenues. But government has to pay for them in the name of government securities, because this gig economy is not providing securities for their life. Yes or no? So that is a kind of extra burden for the government to look after youth population of the country. Look after the elder is not a problem for the government. Look after the children is not a problem for the government. Looking after the youth population is exactly, it's a burden for the government, because they must be the revenue generator. But here what is happening? Government only has to look after them. This is a kind of bad, ill healthness of our economy. And what is the positives of the economy? Tell me. Employment generation, exactly. And another thing, increases the creativity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. Then the qualification, actually there is a kind of unemployment, like one working, being PhD, working as a Ola driver is a kind of structural unemployment. The structure itself is creating unemployment. That is bad actually. What is the positives? Gig economic may be the source of so many people, right? Source of income. Maybe he is a breadwinner of his family, but because of some other reason he may be unemployed for some time. And in between, like one employment to another employment, this, in between time period, this gig economy may be the cause of bread for their family, may be the source of bread for their family, right? Food generator. Next, another positive. What is efficiency? Efficiency meaning what? Efficiency. See, government bank worker are efficient, private bank workers are efficient. As an employer perspective, private bank workers, they will work a lot, so they are very efficient, and their rates, their hikes depending on their work, right? Here in the gig economy is also like that. If you are efficient, like delivery boy, if he is efficient, if he is creative, if he is quick, he can earn more. So efficiency is well extracted in this kind of economy. The efficiency of the youth, the energy of the youth is well extracted in this kind of economy. Sometime one working in a formal economy, rest of the days, like after evening and in holidays, otherwise he's just scrolling the Instagram and wasting his time through watching reels. This is another kind of extra income for the society, right? For the economy. So this is a kind of financial independence sometimes for the students. So these are all the positives of the gig economy. ನೀವು ಈ ತರ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು main sir. And according to economists, this economy is a bad. This kind of economy is a bad. There may be some kind of gig economy was good. Some kind of gig economy is good, but majority of the youth, if they are involving in the gig economy, means that is bad only. Okay, ಇದೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದೇ. ಬಟ್ ಇದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಸೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಸ್ಟ್. Okay, this is all. See, while discussing ease of doing business, I told you, like infrastructure of the country is also one of the criteria to get good ranks in the ease of doing business index. So, infrastructure means what? Again, that is a big chapter itself, but I'll introduce something. Infrastructure means what? What is infrastructure? Buildings, roads, something capital investment, right? Infrastructure means like road, dams, buildings, godowns, that's this and all, like cold storage, everything. See, employment generation is happened after capital investment, after like infrastructure development or not? See, infrastructure is the basics for everything. Infrastructure is the basic for foreign institutional investment or foreign investment, as well as domestic employment generation. How?
Because many members are required to construct.
Okay, during the construction of that infrastructure, as a worker, some kind of employment got generates. Then, okay, then ನೀವು ಯಾರು main point ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. See, what is the problem of India? What is the situation of the secondary sector of India? What is secondary sector? Industrial sector or manufacturing sector. And what is the position of the secondary sector of India? Very low. Why? Because lack of infrastructure for the support to become a good secondary sector. Like some of the foreign investments, before they come into India, they will look after. See, today foreign investment means only tertiary sector in India. ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವುದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದ ರೀಸನ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ favorable environment for them. What is the favorable environment for the manufacturing sector? Infrastructure is the favorable environment. India is lacking infrastructure, that's why there is no favorable environment for the manufacturing sectors one who there in abroad. So there is no foreign investment for the manufacturing sector in India. That's why India's secondary sector year by year decreasing, India's tertiary sector increasing, because our foreign investment is only focusing on the tertiary sector. And there is a good lot many favorable environment for them, but not on the secondary sector, right? This is the situation. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಅಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್, ಅಥವಾ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ politics of India. Like our political overview, infrastructure ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. Like our policies. See, if there is no road connectivity, if there is no road port connectivity, if there is no airport connectivity, foreign investor will not invest, right? In the manufacturing sector. In tertiary sector they will invest because that is through online, that is through internet. But for the manufacturing sector, you need port, you need airports, you need good logistic sectors, right? Travel. That is what lacking in India. That's why India is very poor in the secondary sector. Either. Okay. Tiller is the owner of the land. What does it mean? ಉಳುವನೆ ಹೊಲದಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಯಾರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ? Madam Gandhi's time. What does it mean actually?
Who works in the land should be made as owner.
That is against to the zamindari system. There is Raitwari, Mahalwari, and zamindari, different parts of the country. To against this, like there is no cap for the land holding at the time. That's why entire district is one zamindar's, or sometimes half of the district is one zamindar's land. So government brought a decision like tiller is the owner of the land. Like one who are tilling the land, they are the owner of that land. Anta bantu. Is it successful in South India or not? My question. See, idu nan next idಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು basics ನಂಗೆ. See, the government decisions of tiller is the owner of the land is failed in South India. The reason is, in most of the regions of South India, the farmers, the peasants, they themselves surrender to their masters. They themselves surrender to their landlords. Like, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಲೀಗಲಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. They themselves surrendered. Like, okay, ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇರಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವೇ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಂತ. That is the reason in South India, the tiller is the owner of the land concept was failed. First thing. And another thing, why it is failed? One is self-surrender by the peasant. Another thing, let us talk about some technical, let us talk about some, record from perspective. Before, one zamindar means one ration card and one identity card. And being a patriarchal society, the male elder, he holds the entire district as owner. And he was the owner of the entire land on which he owning. But after tiller is the owner of the land, there was a cap for the maximum holding of the land. So what he did? He just divided his land into his smaller younger brothers as well as their sons and his sons. He just divided, and what he did, he made different ration cards. They're there in the single family itself. What they just did, he divided his entire land records into few, too many pieces within the single family. So legally he is correct only. So the cap got well maintained. This is another reason of failure of tiller is the owner of the land concept in India. That to South India. ಇದನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಸತಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಎರಡು ರೀಸನ್ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಸತಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸರೆಂಡರ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್. He just divided the record. Voluntary surrender and division of the record book. And another thing, there are several loopholes within the system. There are several bribes, corruption within the system. All politicians are the zamindar friend only. All officers, they salute to these zamindars. What they will do? They will not able to take strict decisions over these zamindars if they have not followed the government decisions, right? The loopholes within the existing system, the structure itself. That is another reason. What is money lender? Who lends the money? Is it structural or institutional loan? Uninstitutional loan. Is it legal in India today? Money lending is illegal. You know the word. If somebody is not paid your money back, if you are not able to go to court, because this money lending is informal, and in the name of money lending, especially in the tribal areas, so many merchants, so many business people, they just grabbed their entire land in the name of lending some money. They made them to fall in a debt trap. So ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ, ಚಕ್ರ ಬಡ್ಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರೋ ತರ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಡೆಪ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್. ದಿ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ರೂರಲ್, they fall in the debt trap of this money lender. So finally, what is the security for that loan? The land. The land itself where they are living, the habitat itself is the security for their loan. They will grab their land. these money lenders. Because of this kind of incident, money lending is banned in India. That's why it is illegal. Okay, so it's a taboo. Money lending is a kind of taboo for the Indian society. That is not good. When India went for first green revolution, or what is the need for the first green revolution? What is the situation of India? What is the year first green revolution? Is it 1947 India? No. When?
1960s to 1970s.
1965 first green revolution. Okay. Norman Borlaug. Who is the Norman Borlaug? Who is the father of green revolution? He is the father of Indian green revolution. Somanathan. Norman Borlaug is the father of green revolution. Means word green revolution. ಅಥವಾ green revolution. ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. UPSC ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾರ್ಮನ್ ಬೋರ್ಲಾಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ MS Swaminathan, father of Indian Green Revolution. Okay. What happened in 1965? What is the crisis, or what is the motive for the Green Revolution? Why India went for Green Revolution?
As we were dependent on abroad countries for food, we have to be self-sufficient.
What is the situation of India? Like India import food from the USA under the program called PL 480. PL 480 program, the meaning itself, the objective of the program is to import wheat from where? Wheat, that to rotten wheat from USA. Otherwise they used to throw to ocean. ಆ ಥರ wheat ತಗೊಬಂದು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಬೇಯಿಸಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. That is the situation of India. And India's agriculture is also not self-sufficient. Not even self-sufficient. What is self-sufficient? See, ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮನೇಲಿ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗಾದ್ರೂ ತಿನ್ನೋಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ 1965 ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ one more entire economy itself is agriculture. His business itself is agriculture. They also used to buy some of the rains or crop from rest of the people. This is the situation of India before 1965. What is the reason? Don't blame Britishers for everything. What is the main reason? Practical reason. 1947 they went right. This is 1965. What is the reason? Because Indians don't know how to do agriculture. This is the first reason. There is no big machineries. There is no fertilizer. There is no pesticide. There is no insecticides. There is no high yielding variety seeds of that time. Our domestic variety seeds, our indigenous variety seeds, that is not a high yielding variety seeds. And we used to use cow dung as a fertilizer. We don't know about the modern fertilizers, the chemical fertilizers, right? And we don't know about the irrigation facility at all. We are monsoon dependent country. ಮಳೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೈಪಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಹರಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಪೈಪಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. And even government is also not bothered about that, giving a good proper canal or irrigation system for the agriculture. That was not the plan of the before government. So on 1965, MS Swaminathan and his friends, like he was a good agriculturist, and he went to Norman Borlaug and they both decided and they started Green Revolution in India. That was the first time, 1965. In a 10-year span, by the 1975 years, India become agri-surplus country. Means that is very successful. Why it is very successful? What is agri-surplus? Now, before 1965, India is not even a self-sufficient in terms of food. After 1975, India become agri-surplus, means food surplus country, means food exporting country within a time span of 10 years. The reason is the first Green Revolution was very successful in India. But what is the problem of the Green Revolution? First Green Revolution. What is the problem of the Green Revolution? No, that is not the problem. What is the problem? Where they are concentrated, the central government of that time, do they concentrated on South India regarding Green Revolution? Their main focus is on only 2-3 states of the North Indian states, like Punjab, UP, Bihar, Those are the states one which received a good focus of the central government. And the crops also, only 2-3 crops, wheat, rice, that's it. Rest of the crops, there is no concentration at all. Our green revolution had only effect on wheat and the rice and only focused on 2-3 states of the country. That's why it is failed. Like, it is a good concept. India become agri surplus, but division within India started. The differences within India started. One who have and have nots become increased. The difference between the haves and have nots become increased. That is the reason till today the Punjab farmers are the elites. You know, Punjab farmers, they are better than IAS officers. The Punjab farmers. Because the history, green revolution, successful green revolution. But agriculture in the South India is in a dormant stage still today. The reason is central government not focused towards South India from the history in terms of agriculture. So when India became food exporter country, Food Corporation of India started, FCI. What is the work of this Food Corporation of India? It used to buy all the grains from the farmers, like MSP started, minimum support price, and everything started. What is minimum support price? That is the price which is set by the government for different crops even before sowing. Means ನೀವು ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೇಟ್. If the price is maximum or more than the MSP in the market, means you are allowed to sold it in a market. If the market price went below, government must buy that product or buy that crop with the same rate which is promised earlier, the MSP. Okay, that is all. And I told you, Food Corporation of India is going to buy all the crops, all the yields. ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ buy ಮಾಡಿ? No, not export. There is a buffer stock. Buffer stock is nothing but a godown. ಅಲ್ಲಿ share ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ to every state government godown. From the state government to fair price shops. Fair ನ್ಯಾಯ ಬೆಲೆ ಅಂಗಡಿ, fair price shop. From here BPL, 1 hour below poverty line ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗ್ರೈನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. This is the entire circle. Okay. What is the focus crops of the first green revolution or the green revolution? Rice and wheat. Rest of it means, why only rice and wheat? Why not others? Why our green revolution focused rice and wheat? Because India was a starving country at that time. ಹಸಿವಿಂದ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ದ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್, ರೈಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೀಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾದಾಮ್ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ರೆ, ಕಾಜು ಬಾದಾಮ್ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಸಿವಿಂದ ಸಾಯ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಡೆತ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ. And it is a successful plan. In 1975, India became food exporter. Okay. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ವರ್ಷ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೀತೀರಿ, ಆ ವರ್ಷ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ನೋಟ್. ದ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು 2023 ಬಜೆಟ್? Is it 7 lakh or is it 3 lakh? ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ವಿತ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, 10% ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ, 30% ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಹೋಗಿ, ಈ ವರ್ಷದೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವರ್ಷದ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಟೇಕ್ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆನ್ಸ್. What is tax avoidance? Avoiding the tax. If tax avoided, is it illegal, right? Yes?
No, but for some extent it is.
What is the extent? Some extent means 2,000 ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ 1,000 ಕೊಡೋದಿದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಲೈಕ್ 1,000 ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Some extent. What is tax avoidance? Avoiding the tax. But avoid ಮಾಡೋದು illegal ಅಲ್ವಾ? See, tax avoidance is not an illegal concept. It's a legal concept. Using the loopholes in the tax structure, or using the loopholes in the tax constitution, or using the loopholes in the records, or the legal, or the government. One who are legally avoiding the tax is called tax avoidance. CA, Chartered Accountant, they are the expert in this. Like they are legally avoid the tax using legal loopholes in the government. They are legally avoiding the tax using legal loopholes in the government. This is tax avoidance, and it is not illegal, it is legal. Government will appreciate the CS mind. Okay, court going to appreciate. Then there is another concept called tax evasion. Same. Tax evasion. Tell me what it is. This is illegal. Court going to punish him if somebody did tax evasion. If tax evaded legally, that is tax avoidance. If tax evaded illegally, that is, see, there are two IAS officers. Both did corruption and both are wealthier. One hired CA and he did tax avoidance. According to court, this IAS officer is good because he is paying for CA. And CA is searching all legal loopholes and he is doing tax avoidance. And another IAS officer, he don't want to pay CA. That's why he only searching for the legal loopholes and he is not CA. He may be from BSc background. He is not able to get all the economic concept. And he is not able to understand all the economic concepts. So he failed in finding loopholes. One day, an income tax officers, everybody come to his home, like ED, CBI, everybody come to his home, and they will call him. And the judgment in the court is like, you did tax evasion, not tax avoidance. So you are criminal. This is what. So tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is legal. Both of them, what they did? They just avoided the tax. That's it. So the concept is same, but the procedure is different. Take heading as a capital gain tax, CGT. Capital gain tax. This is normally tax paid by the person who sold his commodity to somebody else, or sold his asset to somebody else. So this is the tax on which the seller going to pay, not buyer. One who sold the asset, he is going to pay. Tell me the example. And this is one kind of tax evasion. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. See, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಮೆಟ್ರೋಪಾಲಿಟನ್ ಸಿಟಿಲೆಲ್ಲ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಫಿಯಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಂತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? ಒಂದು ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಫಿಯಾ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್? ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದೇ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೇನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹೇಗೆ? ಸಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೇನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್? This is the tax one who, this is a tax given to the government, one who sell his asset to somebody else. Normally, consider there is a like 10 crore ಸೈಟ್, ಒಂದು 10 crore ಸೈಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ, 10 ಕೋಟಿದೊಂದು ಸೈಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ 10 ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾತಾ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರೀತಾನೆ, 5 crore ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಾನೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡಿಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೇನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ 5 ಕೋಟಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾ 10 ಕೋಟಿಗ? 5 ಕೋಟಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಖಾತಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾನು 5 ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅನದರ್ 5 ಕೋಟಿ ಆಫೀಸಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಎದುರು 5 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಆಫೀಸಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ 5 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ 5 ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೇನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತಾನೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲೂಪ್ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅವಾಯ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. Okay. See, there is a site which worth 10 crore rupees. Okay. And the person is sold that the same site to another person for the 10 crore only. But in the record, he mentioned that this is not for the 10 crore, I sold it for the 5 crore only. On record. But actually he sold it for the 10 crore only, but on record it is on the 5 crore. And in the revenue office, he has to pay the capital gain tax because he is the seller. The amount of capital gain tax is depending on the amount of the asset he is selling. And according to revenue records, he is selling 5 crore worth asset, right? Not 10 crore worth asset. So he is only able to, or he is only liable to pay 5 crore worth assets capital gain tax, not 10 crore worth assets. So extra half of the tax left for him. This is another technique. ಇದನ್ನ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಥವಾ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರು ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 10% ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಓಕೆ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಲೇಜೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದು ಇದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೇಗೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಯಾವುದು ಇರಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು, ಹೊರಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಉಲ್ಟ. ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರಪ್ಟ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದು ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಾಣತ್ತಷ್ಟೇ. ರಿಯಲಿ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋದು ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್, ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಲಿ ಲೋ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ, UGC ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇದೆ, ಲೋ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ದೆನ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೀ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋದು. ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಿಂದ. ಅವ್ರು ಪಾಪ ರೋಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ AC ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಟೇಕ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹೆವನ್. Heaven, yeah, same heaven. What is tax heaven? Heaven means what? Tax heaven means some of the tax heaven countries are there. Example Mauritius, example Maldives, or example some of the small, Southern Ocean or Indian Ocean island countries, small countries. And the countries revenue itself is a tourism sector. Those countries are tax haven countries. What is tax haven? This is another way of money laundering. What is money laundering? Money lending is different, money lender is different, money laundering is different. Money laundering means what? Money laundering means what? Converting black into white. How? Money laundering is nothing but converting the black money which is generated out of narcotics, which is generated out of skin trade, which is generated out of tiger Nile trade, which is generated out of other wildlife trade, which is generated out of other illegal activity. Converting that amount into white amount is called money laundering. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 3-4 ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟನಲ್ವ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್. Take time and write everything. See, Money laundering is nothing but converting the black amount which is generated out of skin trade, Nile trade, skin, the tiger skin, not our skin, tiger skin and wildlife skin, deer skin, cheetah skin. ಇನ್ನು ವೈಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಮ್ದು ಚೀತಾ, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಚೀತಾ ವೈಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ವೈಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಏನು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ನೈಲ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಹುಲಿ ಉಗ್ರಿ ಭಾರಿ ಇದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಐವರಿ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಆನೆದಂತ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಐವರಿ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾರ್ಕೋಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ಡ್ರಗ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಪೆಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, hazardous chemical which is used for the bombs, that's trade. Data trade, you know this is the new kind of trade. Data, one country the entire data ne theft ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. one company entire data theft ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. huge amount of money ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, black money. there is no source for that money, and the money which is generated out of the illegal activity like kidnaps, illegal activity like honey traps, illegal, what is honey trap, you know, right? While trapping, when one who went for honey, that is honey trap. The money which is generated out of honey trap, the money which is generated out of like kidnapping for the prostitutions, right? Human trafficking ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. While doing fundamental rights, I'll tell you APSP fundamental rights. Okay, ನಿಮ್ದು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಪೊಲಿಟಿ? ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. These are money laundering. Okay, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂತು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇವನ್. See, these are the countries, tax haven countries. I told you, converting black into white. What is the procedure to converting black into white? If they invest the same money which is generated out of the black market in India, what happens? ಹೇಗೆ ವೈಟ್? ನಾನು ತಗೊಬಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, SBIಗೆ, ನನಗೆ 10 crore rupees ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನಾರ್ಕೋಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ. ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ SBIಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಹಾರ ಹಾಕಿ ನನ್ನ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಇವು ಫೆಲೋ 10 crore ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ I should show me the source of this money, right? I should show the source of this money. Otherwise, they will not accept this as a legal money, right? ಯಾವುದೇ ಮನಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ರೆ, this more than 2 lakhs will not able to hold in a house. In our house 2 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, 2 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿನ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮನಿ, ಲೈಕ್ DD, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಚೆಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಸ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್, ಬಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಬಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಕಾರೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಮನಿನ ನೀವು ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿ ಕಟ್ರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿ ಫುಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಾರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರೇ ಕಾರ್ ಯಾರು ಶೋರೂಮ್ನವರೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸರ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಮೆನಿ ಲೂಪಾಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೂ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಶೋ ದ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮನಿ. So what they will do, one who hold the black money, they just diverted their entire money into the tax haven countries. The tax haven countries, these are the countries, their main revenue is like this only. Like they don't have any stable government. They don't even want to know the source of money. They just converted their black into white. And they want to tourism. They want to invest in a tourism sector. ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲೋಗಿ ಏನೋ ಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಏನೋ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ 10 crore ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, they are just happy. They don't even ask the where money is coming from. The countries like Maldives, the countries like Mauritius, they don't even bother. Yes, the countries like Mauritius, they don't even bother about where the money is coming from. They don't even ask because that is a gambling country. The main revenue for the government is tourism and gambling. You know this. Mauritius, gambling is legal. Maldives, gambling is legal. Yes, gambling is legal. So gambling legal ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಮಾರಿಷಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು ಅವರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಅವ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಮನಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಾರಿಷಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮಾಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೈಟ್ ಮನಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವೈಟ್ ಮನಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ that will come to India in the name of foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is white only. In the name of foreign direct investment, that will come to India. And again, is it good for India or bad for India? No, bad for India, because it is Indian money. This black money is Indian money, and the revenue which is generated out of this black money is foreign government. The revenue which is received by this black money is foreign government, not Indian government. Mauritius and Maldives government, they gets revenue, not India. So one kind of school of thought is there in India, like we should become tax haven country ಅಂತ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿಲಿ ಅಂತ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್. ಈಗೊಂದು ವೀವ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿ. So what is the procedure of tax haven countries? First, the money which is generated out of the rest of the countries in a black, that will pull towards those countries, and those countries, they will not even asking the where the money coming from. They don't even know, they don't even bother about the source of the money. They just like use that money as an investment, and they are very happy for that, and they will get some revenue from that money, and they will convert it to white. And from that country, the money which is again going for its source country in the name of FDI. Okay, Indiadaದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಆದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗೆ in the name of FDI. So black converted into white. And ಈಗ ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಖತ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ FDI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ, ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ FDI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ಮನಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ನೇಮಿಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ, ಅಗೇನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಓವರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಿದ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ ಓವರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಹೈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ mafia. Okay, next, take reading is a shell company. ಇವತ್ತು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಫುಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ another kind of crime. What is shell company? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಾ? This is famous. ಆಲ್ KS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್, IAS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಇದು ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ? ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸೇರಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇಂಟು ವೈಟ್. ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ರೂಟ್ ಮಾರಿಷಸ್, ಮಾಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಸಣ್ಣವರು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದೊಳಗೆ ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಹೇಗೆ? ದ ಮನಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಹೇಗೆ? ಬ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿನೋ, ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿನೋ, ಲಂಚ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆಗ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಮನಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಓನರ್ ಅವರೇ ಒಂದು ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಎಂಥದ್ದು, 3 ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲೊಂದು 30 ಜನ ಕೆಲಸದವ್ರು ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. 3 ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡದು, ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಖತ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕ, ಆ ತರದ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಒಂದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಒಂದೂ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಶಾಪ್ದು ಪ್ರತಿ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ 5 crore 10 crore ಲಾಭ ಬರ್ತಿರತ್ತ. ಆ ಲಾಭ ಯಾವುದು? ಅವರು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಲಾಭ. So black converted into white as a profit which is generated out of this furniture shop. Who is the owner? His case officer wife is the owner of this furniture shop. Finish. Converted black into white. ಕಮ್ಮಿದ ಮಾರಿಷಿಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ ತಲೆ ಬಿಸಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವೇ. ಸುಮಾರು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಸಿಗ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು. ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ? ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ದೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಸೇಮ್, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮುಜುಗರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹೇಳಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ? Small frauds. No, what is shell company? These are the company, these are the fake companies, or the fake business setup, which is, hold by one who have black money. That is because of the bribe, that is because of the corruption, and they invested their money as a profit. They showed their money as a profit, which is not actually arise out of that business. Profit actually arise ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, but they show their bribe as the profit of that company. ಓಕೆ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಕೋರ್ಟ್, ಯಾವ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ವೆರಿ ಲೀಗಲ್. ವೈಟ್ ಈ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾನೇ ಬ್ರೈಬ್, ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಿಂದ ತೆಗಿಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್? ದಿನ ಬಂದು ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು? ನೋ, ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಇಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿರೋದು ಇದು ಸೆಟಪ್ ಉಡುಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವರು BBMP KS ಆಫೀಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 15-20 ಜನ ಕೆಲಸದವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಂದಿನೂ ಒಂದು ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಸೆಟಪ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡೈಲಿ ಅವರು ನೋಡಿ 15-20 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಶಾಪ್ ಕೀಪರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 15,000 ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 3-4 lakhs ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇದೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. 4-5 lakhs ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿನೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ 3 floor ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಸೊ ಒಂದು 10 lakhs ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತೆಗೆದಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರು. 10 lakhs ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತೆಗೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಐ ಗೆಸ್ ಒಂದು 10 crore ಆದ್ರೂ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. ಅದು 5 crore ಆದ್ರು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಗುಡ್ಡೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಕಡೆಗೆ ಶಾಪನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ದೆನ್ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ವೈಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ACB ರೈಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೂಫ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿದು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಇದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ವೈಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ACB ದಾಳಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದೇ ನೋಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು ದಡ್ರಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಿಕ್ತು, ಯಾರು ಒಳಗೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೀಗಲ್ಲೇ. ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಮೆನಿ ಲೋಪಾಲ್ಸ್. ಶೆಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎನಿ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದಿಸ್? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಲಾ? There is a GAR, the name is GAR, General Anti-Avoidance Rule. General Anti-Avoidance Rule. ನೀವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ನೋ ದಿ ವರ್ಡ್, ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಂತ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ದಾಯಿಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್, ದ ಗಾರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಟೂತ್ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ನೇಕ್ ಅಂತ. ಟೂತ್ಲೆಸ್ ಡಾಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಹಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಾಯಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕಾರ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಚ್ಚೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಬೊಗಳೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಂತ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಜನರಲ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ರೂಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಫಿನಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್, ವಿಚ್ ಎಂಪವರ್ ದ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ It directly comes under the finance minister, which empower the revenue authority to take action against the avoidance. Which avoidance? Tax avoidance. But today, this is practically not working. What is the source for that? Current affairs. Because there is a headline called Gar is becoming toothless dog. Okay. Take heading as a laugher curve. This is important. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Laugher curve. This is curve. Graph ಹಾಕಬೇಕಂದು. See, this is the revenue which is generated out of the tax revenue. This is the tax rate. Okay. Normally, if tax rate increases, what happens to the revenue to the government? Normally, if tax rate increases, ಮೊದಲು 5% ಇತ್ತು, ಈಗ 10% ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. What happens to the revenue of the government from the tax? Increases. ಹೀಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Increases to the extent. But again, then also, ಅತಿ ಆಸೆ. If government again increases its tax rate, then what happens? Again increases. What is the motive for the again increasing? What is the motive of the government to again increasing the tax rate? To again get a huge amount of revenue to the government. But practically what happens? The one was liable to pay tax, he is in a search of tax avoidance. Like he will search the loopholes to avoid the tax. So he is trying to avoid the tax. So when he tries to avoid the tax revenue to the government going to decreases. Means for certain point of tax rate, the revenue of the government going to increases, and again if government increases its tax rate, the revenue to the government got decreases, because the people who are not paying the tax, they are in a search of the tax avoidance or the loopholes in the tax instead of paying the tax. This is Laffer curve. When tax base become loafers, we call it as a Laffer. Okay. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸರಿ. What is tax base? Tax base. If the base, tax base increases, the revenue for the government increases or decreases. Tax base means what? Like the number of people who are paying tax is called tax base. If the number of people, the number itself is small, then the revenue for the government is small only. If the taxpayers numbers become huge, become wide, the revenue automatically to the government got increases. So tax base is directly proportional to the tax revenue to the government normally. If base increases, automatically revenue generated out of that tax base is increases. Tax base means what? Like ಮೊದಲು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಕಾಟೇಜ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಕಾಟೇಜ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅನ್ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತು, ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫರ್ ಅ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ, ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ ಲೈಕ್ 1 crore loan. Again you have to pay back only 80 lakhs, but the condition behind is you must comes under the government purview means informal to formal. When this cottage industry become informal to formal, they have to pay some tax. So tax base got increased. When tax base got increased, revenue for the government also increased, because this newly added cottage industry also going to pay taxes to the government, right? revenue which is generated is going to increases. So tax base is directly proportional to revenue, tax revenue. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಚೆ ಈಚೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. When revenue increases, expenditure of the government going to increase or decreases? When revenue decreases, see, what is the source of the government expenditure towards the welfare scheme? Tax revenue, right? When the tax revenue decreases, the expenditure of the government also going to decreases, because that is the only source. The tax revenue is the source for the government to spend, right? If there is no revenue which is coming and government is not able to pay for the government schemes, right? So tax base is directly proportional to the government schemes or not? If the tax base is more, indirect when the tax base is more, the implementation of the welfare schemes is also more. Or the successful of the welfare scheme is the possibility or the proportionality of the successful of the welfare scheme is also more, because ದುಡ್ಡು ಇದ್ರೆ ತಾನೇ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೆನಪಿಲ್ಲ. See how it affects the subsidy. When the tax base is more, how it affects the subsidy of the government? What is subsidy? Government benefit to some sector, right? Government is spending for that sector, right? Subsidy means government is like spending something, and when government is rich, when government is able to pay something, then only there is a subsidy. Otherwise there is no concept of subsidy at all. When the tax base is wide, then government is richer, then it is in a position to give subsidy. So that is also directly proportional. See, is subsidy good or bad? Some of the political agenda itself is today subsidy. Some of the political parties, even in the Karnataka, ನೀವು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಪಗ್ಯಾಂಡ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿನೇ ತುಂಬ. ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 2-3 ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಗೆದ್ದಿದೆ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿನೇ ಮುಂದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಈ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? ಆರ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಬೀಸ್? ಸಬ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್, ಫ್ರೀ ಬೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? Once upon a time, Tamil Nadu is famous for freebies during Amma's time. Amma canteen, Amma TV, Amma fridge, Amma food, Amma cement. Okay, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು Jayalalitha time. Is it good? Freebies are good or subsidies are good or bad? Bad. How it is bad?
For an extent it can be good.
For an extent it can be good. The extent means like, what is the cap?
Until he is stable enough to buy his own equipment.
He means as a state or as a common public? Common public. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಸಮಾಧಾನನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದವರು ನೀವು ಫ್ರೀ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ನನಗೂ ಒಂದಿರಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದಿರಲಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? See, what happens when subsidy was there? Like when lot many subsidies are there, what happens to the budget of that country or budget of that state? Is it affecting the budget or not? And already they are announced subsidy and there is no money, and what that country or what that state will do? That will borrow from something else. Once it borrows from something else, it has to repay back, and if it is not able to repay back, it has to pay interest. And year on year, the interest payment or interest rate going to increases. Baddi, Chakravaddi, and the revenue which is generated out of the taxes, the revenue which is generated out of the businesses, which is happening in that state, the revenue is entirely going for the interest payment itself. That is what is happening in Tamil Nadu today. You know this. Tamil Nadu, not only India, foreign indella loan ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. State foreign loan ತಗೋಬಹುದು with the approval of the central government. ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ಫಾರಿನಿಂದ ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ, ವಾಪಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ತರ IT ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ, ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ನೀವು ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ನೋಡಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇವನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಕೊಯಂಬತ್ತೂರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಸದ್ಗುರುಯಿಂದ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ liability is more. Every year the interest is becoming growing and growing every year because of early or elders liability ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕನಾಮಿಸ್ಟ್. irrational subsidy is always bad because it is a burden on the government account or burden on the budget of that state. Government, once it is promised the subsidy, means it has to give subsidy, otherwise it lost its political stability in that state. Then also they are promising subsidy just to come to the power. It is an irrational kind of economic decision. Once they promise it, they have to do that. They should do that. So how they will do? They will just borrow money from the foreign countries. They just borrow money from the central government, or they just borrow money from the wherever they can, and they have to pay back. How they will pay back? Through their revenue only. So interest payment or their loan repayment, that will become their duty instead of doing welfare schemes. So that is not good. Okay, this is all. Take heading economics of scale. Economies of scale. Economies of scale. Economies of scale. ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ? See, consider there are two industries or two manufacturing sector. One is big manufacturing sector and one is small manufacturing sector. Consider a candle manufacturing sector. One is very branded candle manufacturing sector. The brand name is something else, like one Y and that or A is the brand name. Another thing is like domestic handmade candle. So who is in a position to give more discount to its buyers? ಯಾರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು? ಯಾರು ಇಬ್ರು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಇಬ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ A and ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ B. Candle A is small businessman, small manufacturer. Candle B is a big company, and they are manufacturing crores of pieces daily. His manufacture is in hundreds of pieces. It is in 100 number. And who is in a position to give discounts? Like Deepavali ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಮಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು? B. Why? The production is too big and the production cost is very less comparatively, and the wastage is very less because efficient machineries, and he already invested in the machinery and the production is easy also, and there is a proper set of backward and frontward, like supply side chain or supply chain, proper supply chain and proper market chain for his products. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಥ್ರೆಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೈನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಯಾರು ಬರಬೇಕು ತಗೋಬೇಕು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ sold or number of sell is more in the B. So his margin may be less, then also he get profit because his quantity, the number is more. His margin may be less. ಇವರು 10 rupees ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, 8 rupees ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ 2 rupees ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವರು 8 rupees ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 10 rupees ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ, ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೋ. ಸೊ ಇವರು 12 rupees ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೊ 4 rupees ಬೇಕು ಲಾಭ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್. The product quantity cell is the cell itself is a less. So this B, the company B is called economics of scale. Scale means what? Something scale, something large. The big companies one who are in a position to give. The big companies one who are position to give subsidies. Big companies one who are in a position to give subsidy or what we call discounts, not subsidy. One who are in a position to give discounts because the profit margin of the company is less because their sell is more. The quantity, the number of products of their sell is more. These kind of companies are called economies of scale. When these kind of companies are there, the domestic company or handmade company or the small company is not able to compete with economies of scale. Why? The same reason. They are not able to compete. So is it good for the economy? Bad. This is what UPSC wants. Is it good for the economy or bad? These kind of companies, is it good for the economy or bad? Bad. Why? See, think like a businessman. Is it good for the economy or bad? Why it is bad? Small scale industry got affected. Okay. Why it is good from the country's perspective?
Because they will get more profit as it is cheaper.
See, where raw material wastage is less, big company raw material wastage is less, and they are able to give margin, less profit margin because their raw material wastage is less because well equipped machinery. So it is good for the country. Economies of scale, if they are providing, if they are selling, see, the thing is that economies of scale must be in a Indian land, Indian territory, then it is good. If it is in a China's territory, then they are sending their products, means that is good. But if they are manufacturing within India, means economies of scale is good for the Indian perspective or the Indian economy. Okay, economies of scale. If the market setup, if the manufacturing setup is there within Indian territory, then it is good only. Why? The raw material wastage is less, and employment generation happens. If it is outside country, then it is bad. Because the revenue generated out of that manufacturing company, that will go to China's government, not India's government. Here, this company, this manufacturer, they will pay some revenue, they will pay some tax to the government, Indian government. That is again another kind of benefit. One is employment, another one is well utilization of the raw materials. Another thing, revenue for the government. Another thing, good material with less minimum price, and it is much more competitive than the foreign countries' items, right? Competition. Sometimes this may become a product of export competition. That may indirectly helpful for the trade surplus country. See, why they will give in a discount rate? Because the cost of production itself is less. The cost per unit of cell or unit of production itself is less. And it is another kind of doing organized business, right? Before they are unorganized. And government is asking these peoples to combine together, and you fellows, you are individual. You combine together in one form organized business. This is the idea which is government only giving for this unorganized businesses. And today in unorganized, in company B, government is not getting revenue because it is unorganized. Once these A kind of peoples, like 10 people, 15 people, they combinedly form the B kind of company, means government also get revenues, so that research and development may happen in that candle industry, and the knowledge from the foreign may we are in a position to import the foreign knowledges, foreign machineries, right? ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ. ಈ ಥರ ನೀವು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ನೋ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವೈಲ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್. ವೈಲ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿ, ಶುಡ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ advocate. Okay, while you are answering geography and ecology, environment and ecology, you should think like a geologist or environmentalist. Environment ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನೋ ಆ ಥರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. while you are answering economic question, should think like a businessman. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ಸೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಆ ಥರ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವೈಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀರಿ, ವೈಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. What is competition? What is competition? Or competition is good or bad? You know competition, right? Everybody know. Is it good or bad? Something called healthy competition ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ. Healthy competition is good. What is healthy competition? Competition for the good reason or competition for the good output, that is healthy competition. Like competition in between the two toppers, that is the healthy competition. Competition in between the two businessmen. And see, if two companies is in a competition, A and B, who are the benefit end? One are buyer. Buyer is in the benefit end because see, ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ buyer got benefited. If the competition is in between the two manufacturer means buyer going to benefits. The competition benefits the buyer. But if competition becomes severe, is it good or bad? Competition for some extent it is good. Sometimes the companies they are into position like they just want to capture the entire market, they'll sell even less than their manufacturing price. Like 8 rupees ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 7 rupeesಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ದಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಚ್ಚಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ 15 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಜಿಯೋ ಸೇಮ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗುಡ್. Competition below the price of or severe competition is always bad. And what is the organization which is looking for to avoid competition or severe competition in India? In international level there is a something called WTO, World Trade Organization, to avoid the trade disputes. And within India to avoid competition, what is there? See, once it started to sell less than its manufacturing price, what happens to other competitors? Other competitors close their door and they will vanish. And the company which is stood as a single, that will act as a monopoly, right? So that will start to monopolize the entire sector, entire candle industry. When it's monopolized the entire candle industry, the whatever price it sets, that price itself becomes standard price. So there is a monopoly over the candle business. That's why the government brought a monopoly restricted trade practices, MRTP, as a law. In 1960, to avoid severe competition, government brought monopoly restricted trade practices, MRTP. Monopoly restricted trade practices. Monopoly, MONOPOLY, monopoly restricted trade practices. This is to avoid competition. Then in 1990s, this is 1960s, okay. Then in 1990s, competition become difficult.
1960s.
This is 1960. In 1990s, competition become very difficult because predatory pricing started. What is predatory pricing? See, reducing the price to kill the competition itself. Reducing the price to the extent to kill its competition. That is the definition actually. Predatory pricing definition, pricing the product to kill the competition. To make their product price low and low to survive in market. These are all within country, okay, not outside country. Predatory pricing is pricing the country to kill competition. They make product price very low and low just to survive in the market. They reduce the price. Pricing the product to kill competition, no? Predatory, something predatory like prey, predator, that predatory. Predatory pricing. What is amalgamation? Take heading as amalgamation. If two companies merged to form a single company is called amalgamation. Best example, Byju's. Byju's, what is the strategy of the Byju's? If any other online educationist, if they started their business, for some extent they will listen, like they will see, they will watch. After some, 1 month, 2 months, after 1 year, if they act like a competitor for the Byju's, they will set up one meeting with them in 5-star hotel. They will call their owners and they will directly ask what is the price and they will settle it. This is all. There is no competitor for this one, Byju's. You know what? There is no competitor at all in India. Byju's is a monopoly in the education. Unacademy is for the different kind of exams like UPSC, and Byju's is good at like NEET, JEE. Their main concentration is to PU, second PU science students. Okay. Unacademy main concentration is to after engineering students. UPSC. This is amalgamation, or you can say cartel formation. Cartel Google, what is that? Flipkart means one basket means combining. Next, take heading is these are all 1990s strategy, competition kill model. Okay, 1990 ನಂತರ. Next, ambush marketing or ambush advertisement. Something ambush means what? Ambush advertisement ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನು, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ನೀವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀವೊಂದು ಸೋಡಾದ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಸೋಡಾ, ಓಕೆ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ರೇಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ನ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಖರ್ಚು ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಸುಮಾರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸೋಡಾ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ. ಅವ್ರ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ನೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಫುಲ್, ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ವ ಸೋಡಾ. ಬಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 29 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬೈ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಸೋಡಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದ ಥೀಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೋಡಾ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಡ್ರಿಂಕ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಸೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸೋಡಾ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಬ್ಯೂಷ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಆಂಬ್ಯೂಷ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್, ಯುವರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, just to avoid some taxes or just to for the benefit, avoid some any legal hurdles. Same thing. If you want to If somebody want to, advertise or want to, ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋಣ, if you want to market something, you advertise something else just to avoid legal hurdles or tax. This is ambush advertisement, ambush market. See, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಆಂಬಿಷ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಂತ, ಇದು ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು ಇರ್ಬೇಕ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ನೀವೇನು ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಬರ್ದಿರಲ್ವಾ ಅದೆಲ್ಲೂ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಟುಡೇ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಂಬಿಷ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್, ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಅದೇನಂತ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೀ. ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್? ಸಿ 1990s ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಈ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್, CCI. ಓಕೆ, ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಅಗೇನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ಲೆಸ್ ಬಾಡೀಸ್, ಏನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, CCI. Next, dumping as a heading. This is international level. Till now it is a national level. Okay, dumping international level. Now tell me, what is dumping?
Dumping is what China does.
Selling
Selling
in a less price. Okay.
cheap quality products.
How you will tell cheap quality?
China does.
Who told you China is cheap quality? China is more standard quality. Some amount is, depending on your cash, the price, they will give standards, the quality. According to you, there is no standard material in China? Yes, it is. What is dumping? No, actually. What is dumping? Dumping means what? Rate alla bitbidi. What is dumping? Exactly. Define that. Dumping. Exactly. ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕೋದೇ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನನ್ನ ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ಅವ್ರ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಲಿ ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ನಮ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕೋದನ್ನೇ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಡಿಫೈನ್ ದಟ್. ನಮ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಶಿ ಹಾಕೋದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್? By wantedly or by willful, dumping something, or that is what dumping bantala. What we can call willful surge of our manufacturing products in foreign markets. Willful surge of our manufacturing products in a foreign market, just to kill the competition, and the product price is below than that country's domestic products. That country's domestic products. ಈಗ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಚೀನಾ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಲೋ ದೆನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಆಫ್ that country's domestic market or domestic product. It should be below than or it should be less than the price of that country's domestic product. What is the international country become successful in dumping? China. China become very successful in dumping. That's why rest of the countries started anti-dumping duty. What is the anti-dumping duty? Duty means what? Taxes. Taxes within the territory of country is called tax. Taxes in between the country, like export importer tax ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ duty ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, tariff ಅಥವಾ duty ಅಂತ. So anti-dumping duty means what? Something, if China wants to dump here, we indirectly increase the China-made goods. How? Just to increasing duty. When we increase the duty of the China-made goods, the product price also going to increases. When the product price going to increases, common public not in a position to buy China-made goods. They will buy domestic Indian made good, right? Instead of China made good. So this is the anti-dumping duty. Again, China went for WTO. Anti-dumping duty is a kind of sanction, right? Irrationally sanction ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. But USA is there with every country side, because USA is against China, and final decision in WTO happens through USA only, because that is the highest shareholder. Again, it is successful. So, China is facing lot many sanctions today because of its dumping kind of attitude. China is facing lot many sanctions, lot many anti-dumping duties. Rest of the countries. That's why China's economy day by day decreasing, or you can say like yesterday we discussed, disinflation. ಆ ಥರ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಚೀನಾದು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ದ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಟುಡೇ because of its lot many anti-dumping duties, because of its sanctions, because of its rivalry against the USA, with the USA. Okay. So now take heading as a big concept. Economy is big concept. Break ಬೇಕಾ? Yes, need break? ಬೇಡವಾ? Then take heading as a balance of payment. ಬೇಡ ಬರೀರಿ. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್, BOP ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. See, feel free in the class, okay? Like if you are thirsty, just drink water. No need to ask. ನಾನು ಕುಡಿತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕುಡೀರಿ. ಬೇರೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್? What is balance of payment? And how it is different from forex reserve? This balance of payment is not company's balance of payment or bank's balance of payment. National level ಅಲ್ಲಿ balance of payment ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Country's income, country's expenditure out of the foreign trade, that balance of payment. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ how it is different from forex reserve. If country government wants to import something, wants to export something, that happens through forex reserve. Balance of payment means entire country's import and export, means businessmen's, their import, their export. So which is wider? Balance of payment.
Balancing the payment.
It's a kind of account ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Balance of payment ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ current account, capital account, capital within current also again division, within capital also again division. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ. Take heading as a BOP, balance of payment. In the two kinds of account, current account, capital account. Okay. In the current account again trade account, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದು? ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, another one is remittance. Trade remittance account, trade account, remittance account. ಅಗೇನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸರ್ವಿಸನ್ನ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಬರೋಣ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ದೆನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೋಡೋಣ. See, first of all, what is current account and capital account? See, these are the two accounts which is there in the balance of payment. Current account means something in a day-to-day activity. The account which follow day-to-day activity, like something, some businessman is importing something from foreign, some businessman is exporting something to the foreign, or our service and service import, our service export, or our goods import, goods export. This is a day-to-day, a temporary or day-to-day. You can say day-to-day, and there is no asset creation here. There is no asset creation. This is just a business. There is no asset creation. That is what the difference with capital. In capital account, see, first thing in capital account you must understand, asset creation or asset like dilution. Something happens to the asset. Asset on the create agbeku, asset dilute agbeku. Another thing is, what is another thing? Capital. First of all, asset creation or asset dilution. Another thing, if somebody is lend money to you, you must repay back. Means the liability is there in your head, right? Somebody ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡೋ ತನಕ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರ ಋಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀರ, ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ, responsibility to pay back. Liability, see, asset and liability are the vice versa. How? If you lend money to somebody else, then your asset is increasing anta, or the lending, ninne maatadta bank ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, the lending of the bank is its asset, the loan, lending means the loan which is given by that bank, that is its asset, the deposit which is received, it is its liability anta. Same thing in a country's perspective, something which is coming to the country as a profit coming means its asset, country's asset is increasing, so that is the asset of the country, that is capital account. Liability means something, country is borrowing money from the foreign country and country is liable to repay back, or it repay the money, means liability decreases. Something asset increase or decrease, or something liability increase or decrease, that is capital account. Something is not affected liability, not affected asset, and it is a temporary, it is a day-to-day means, that is current account. This is the difference. See, nothing but this is a financial transaction. Both balance of payment means this is a current account, capital account means financial transaction. If because of this transaction asset increases or asset decreases, capital increases or liability increases or liability decreases, then we call it as a capital account. If it is not affecting the asset and liability of the country, then we call it as a current account. That's it. What is there in that? See, indirectly it may, directly I'm asking directly, indirectly asset creation ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾರೋ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ನನಗೆ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾರಲ್ವಾ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಯವ್ರು ಕಳಿಸಿರೋದು ನನಗೆ, ಯಾಕೆ? ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ನಾವು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಿ ದ ಲೋನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲಯಬಲ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಟ್ ಲೋನ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ capital account. Here I am not liable. That is for my own consumption. But I invested here. That is different. So ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರದರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್? he is sending money to you. He is sending money to you is a remittance. Remittance means you are not liable to pay back. ಅವರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. If he send money as a loan, then that will become capital account because country's liability got increased. He sent as a just for the consumption and you invested something else, that is capital loan. Sorry, current only. Hi. ನಂದೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ. You know what? Current account, capital account difference ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ. Then trade. India is a capital account surplus or capital account deficit country? India capital account surplus or capital account deficit country? What is capital account surplus means? Surplus means what? ನಮ್ಮ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದು ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್. ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ GDP ಜಾಸ್ತಿನಾ GNP ಜಾಸ್ತಿನಾ? GNP ಕಮ್ಮಿ. GNP ಕಮ್ಮಿ. That means our liability more or our asset more? GNP ಕಮ್ಮಿ means what? What is GNP? Definition I don't want. The meaning. GNP means what? Our Indians, like they invested and they get profit, that is GNP. It may be within territory, that may be outside territory. And it may be within territory, the owner is a foreigner means that is not considered GNP. That is considered as GDP because GDP the definition is itself within territory of India. GDP definition itself is within territory of India. GNP definition is Indians, not India. Okay, if Ambani went to Bangladesh, he invested something in Bangladesh means the profit which is generated out of that company is a Indian GNP, right? But India dalliro ella company profit India GNP alla because foreign based irutte, Singapore based irutte, USA based irutte. ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ದ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಗೋಸ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ GNP, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ GDP ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ GNP ಈಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ GDP. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ GDP ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, GNP ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ GNP ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ GNP ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. GNP where deficit means what? Asset more or asset less? Our liability more because somebody from the foreign he is investing in India. He is investing means India is liable to pay him back. He is investing in India means India is liable to pay him back. India's liability is more. When India's liability is more means India is in a deficit with respect to capital, current. In terms of trade, definitely India is in a deficit. Why? Petroleum import. What is trade? The goods import and export. That is what trade, right? Import and export of the goods itself is a trade. And in terms of trade, India is importing more against to export, right? India is importing more because our 97-98% of our petroleum products are importing. And India is the highest petroleum consumption country in the world. So India's trade is deficit, not surplus. So India's trade is deficit. So what about India's service? India's service sector surplus. Why? India's service sector is surplus. Why? Exactly, IT companies. We are sending more, we are exporting more services to the rest of the countries than service import, not entire import, than service import. So, in terms of tertiary sector, in terms of service, we are in a surplus mode. In terms of service sector, we are in a surplus mode because of our IT, because of our tertiary sector. right? In terms of remittances, India is the, yesterday I told you, India is the highest receiver of remittances in the world because number ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. So when India is the highest receiver means India always in a income, that is a kind of value, right? So it is in a surplus. Grants, the grants which is coming to India is more than the grants which is moving out of India. Why? Grants means something, money which is coming and you are not liable to pay back. If you are liable to pay back, that will become loan. The money which is coming from the abroad and you are not liable to pay back, that is grant. That is the definition of the grant. If you are liable to pay back that money means that grant will become loan. If you are liable to pay back, that is not fixed at the current account, that will fix at the capital account, because your liability going to increases when you receive that grant. Here there is no liability. It will not affect the liability of the country because it is a grant. Grant is surplus because you know what, the minority religion of our country, they are receiving enormous grants from the rest of the world, like Syria, from the Iran, sometimes from the Pakistan also we are receiving the grants. You know what, that is for the different motive, and Modi government is suppressing in it all different ways, that is different. And grants from the foreign countries decreasing after 2014. Before 2014, more than remittances, India is receiving grants. They consider Pakistan and Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran consider India is a poor country. India not able to give education for their youngsters or for their children. So we are providing grants to give education. What kind of education? Within a mosque or within a what kind of education? So they are providing grants. That is the minority grants. Okay. Adhe tara normal grants barbodu. Charitable trust, Christian missionaries. That is the grants from the European countries. So these are the different kinds of grants. And India is a surplus country. Illinda yavadu hogalla. Very rare. Illinda hora grants hogalla. So grants surplus. Here it is surplus. Here it is surplus. Here it is surplus. Current account, surplus or deficit? Current account is deficit. Why? India's current account is deficit. Trade deficit. Trade deficit. India is a trade deficit country, not trade surplus country. So this is positive, this is positive, this is positive. Then also this is negative. Why? Just because of this trade. Because the quantity of the trade is much more bigger than this quantity. India is a current account deficit country not because of its service, not because of its grants, not because of its remittances, just because of its trade. India is a current account deficit country just because of its trade deficit. Right? Just because of its trade deficit, just because of its increasing number of imports, just because of its petroleum imports, you can say, or just because of its manufacturing and petroleum imports. That's why government is trying to export-led growth and electric vehicle. Export-led growth means for manufacturing sector and electric vehicle for decreasing the import of the petroleum product. So we are in a hope that after a few years or within 10 years we will become trade surplus country, so that current account surplus country. Okay, we are in a way of becoming current account surplus country. Right? ಹೀಗಿರಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ನೋ. In terms of remittances, India is number 1. Okay. Again, in capital account there are two kinds. One is investment and another one is loan. See, both in the investment and loan, our asset and liability going to change. Yes or no? Think and understand. See, don't write blindly. Investment and loan are the parts of capital account because both in the investment and in the loan, our liability and asset going to change. Yes or no? Yes. What happens in the investment? Foreign direct investment. Again, there are many kinds. Foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, qualified foreign investment. There are a number of types. What happens? Foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, foreign institutional investment, you can say. See, these are all different investment from the foreign. What happens to liability of the government or what happens to asset of the government? See, somebody is investing from the foreign. Somebody is investing in the foreign. Means that investment is not Indian money, right? Dollar inflow ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. That dollar is not Indian dollar. But Indiaದಲ್ಲಿ transaction ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. But that dollar is not Indian dollar. That is invested by somebody else from the foreign. And India is liable to pay back that dollar whenever he want. India is liable to pay back that dollar to him whenever he want, and the profit which is generated out of his investment is going to that country's revenue. The profit which is generated, maybe transaction cost adidalla illi sigbodu, but the profit which is generated out of that investment will go for that country's revenue, right? Here only employment generation and rest of the raw materials adu idukella ondistu revenue sigbodu, but the profit revenue is go for wherever the FDI is coming from, wherever the investment coming from, right? So it will affect our liability. Same thing, loan. What kind of loan? ಯಾವ ತರ ಲೋನ್ ಇದೆ? ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇಂದ ಬರೋದು. Like ನಮ್ಮ government, I told you while discussing Tamil Nadu government, it took loan from the foreign country. Same thing, India also took loan from some of the foreign countries, right? Not only foreign countries, some of the international organization called IMF, World Bank. So when India took loan or Indian government took loan from the international countries, India's liability going to increases because India is liable to pay back that loan. Okay, India repaid that loan. Just assume India repaid that loan. So what happens to liability? Liability decreases. So something happened to liability, right? Repayment of the loan is also capital account. India paid its interest. That is capital account or current account? Tell me. India paid its interest over that loan. India paid its interest over the foreign loan. That interest is not going to affect asset of the country, is not going to affect liability of the country. That's why it fits in the current account. Interest payment is current account, loan repayment is capital account. ಇಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ವೈ? ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Our liability is not going to decreases. See, if we pay back our loan means our liability decreases. Interest payment ಆದಾಗ liability decrease ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಲೋನ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ interest payment is current. Loan repayment capital. So when country receives loan means its liability increases. When country repay back its loan means its liability decreases. You know, NRIs, non-residential Indians, they invested in Indian insurance company, they invested in Indian company, or they just invested in Indian bank, they deposited their money in Indian bank. Now tell me, is it fits in current account or commercial account? NRI deposits. Current account means that is ours only. We don't have to pay back them. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಲೋನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಅವರು. ನೋ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಬಲ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ India is liable to pay back. Our liability going to affect here. That's why it is a capital account. NRI's deposits is a capital account. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಲ್ಟಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. NRIs, what is NRI? Non-residential Indians, one who are there in the foreign and their ancestors are Indian. ಈ ಥರ NRIs. And they deposited some amount in Indian banks. And it looks like investment, looks like the money which is coming, but India is liable to pay back, right? Along with interest, India is liable to pay back. So liability of the India going to increases. That's why it's a capital. See, some of the foreign countries, they invested in SEBI, like they invested in share market. Then that will become foreign company. They invested in share market, Indian share market.
Then it will correct.
How?
Because it is for us only. We are investing.
And ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬೇಡವಂತ ದುಡ್ಡು. ಅವ್ರು ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬೇಡವಾ ದುಡ್ಡು? Then liability of India going to increases, right? If they are investing, ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯು. Somebody is investing in India, whatever may be the sector. Somebody investment, the word investment is there means that is current only. Sorry, capital only, not current, capital only. Okay, ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ this is old question. Like ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the foreign company, it is invested in share market and which is like overlooking by SEBI. ಸೆಬಿನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೆಬಿ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕರೆಂಟೇ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೇಕದು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲೈಬಲ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ವಿತ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಹೀಗೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಡ್? Current account deficit. So because of trade deficit, India experiencing CAD, current account deficit, not because of rest of the deficits, because rest of the current account is in a surplus mode. Only trade within the current account is in a deficit mode. Because of the trade deficit within the current account experiencing deficit, that is current account deficit. Okay, current account deficit is mainly because of what? Trade deficit, not because of service, not because of remittance, not because of grants. Okay, so where we must focus to make our country as a current account surplus country? Trade. Idan keltare. So we must focus on trade just to decrease our import, and partially we may try to export, increase our export. The thing is, we must try to decrease our import. This is the best strategy to make current account surplus country. ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, this is one of the old UPSC question. Okay, what is the strategy for the make India as a current account surplus country? There are different options. First option is increase the tourism sector in India, or develop the tourism sector. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Service sector, so tourism is a service sector surplus. ಅರೆ ಬೈ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ is in a surplus mode. Second option ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಿತ್ತು, third option ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಿತ್ತು, fourth option would be like decrease the import. Try to decrease the import. Actually ಮೂರು ಆಪ್ಷನ್, ನಾಲ್ಕು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ನೇ. ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ನೇ, ಬಟ್ ಮೂರು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಇದೆ? ಇದ್ರ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೋಡ್. ದ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ವೇರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಮೋಡ್. ಅದಿದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು? ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಟೂರಿಸಂ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ or we are in a surplus, but we are our import is more, that's why we are experiencing trade deficit, that's why we are experiencing current account deficit. So we must decrease our import, right? ಇದು ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ. ನಾಲ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಸರಿನೇ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ? ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿದಿನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಲ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಲ್ಕು ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್? ಹೌ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ or how to decrease the current account deficit or how to make current account surplus country. First option tourism sector develop ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ರೆಮಿಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇದೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ ಫೋರ್ ಆರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ನಿನ್ನೆಯಿಂದ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. ವೆನ್ ಅವರ್ ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಡಾಲರ್? Demand for dollar. Rupee value is less. When our rupee value is less, what happens to the demand for the dollar? Demand for the dollar. I am asking demand increases or demand decreases? Rupee value is less. When our rupee value is less, demand for dollar increases or decreases? Consider dollar as an object. Then tell me the answer. How?
Because they get 100 rupees item.
You have to pay 100 rupees for $1. So, demand for dollar. Yes. See, when our rupee value increases, we have to pay less money or more money to buy a single dollar? More money to buy a single dollar. You have to pay more money. Rupee value less ಆಗಿದೆ in front of dollar. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಡಾಲರ್ ಮುಂದೆ. ಸೊ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಡಾಲರ್ ಬೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಸೊ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಲರ್ going to increases. When your rupee value decreases, value of dollar going to increases. So demand for dollar increases. Demand for dollar increases because something is, think from a, ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಥಿಂಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್. ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್. ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ, ಟೂ ಮೆನಿ ಮನಿ ಚೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಟೂ ಫ್ಯೂ, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪುಲ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದಾಗ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ, ಡಾಲರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದಾಗ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಾಲರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, ರೈಟ್? See, when consider there is a current account deficit in India, dollar supply in India going to increase or decreases? Connect ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. Consider there is a current account deficit in India. Deficit in India. What happens to rupee value? ನೀವು ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 10 ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ? ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್? ಮೈ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ. ಇದೇ ತರ ಕೇಳೋದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್, ಈಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 10th ಒಳಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕಲ್ತ್ರೆ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಇದು ನೀವು ಓದ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ವೆನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾ ಹೇಳಿ. ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬನ್ನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್? ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮೂರುಗಡೆ ಏನೋ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ and remittances we are in a surplus only. Current account deficit is because of the trade deficit. Means our import is more than our export. Our import is more means what? Something we are importing means the rupee, means the dollar which we hold in the forex reserve is moving out of India. Import means we have to pay for them. So dollar which is moving out of India is more than dollar which is coming into India. Artha aita? Trade deficit. See, current account deficit is because of a trade deficit. Trade deficit means import more, export less. While we importing, we pay more dollar. While we importing, we pay more dollar because our export is less. Export means what? ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ವಾಪಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಡಾಲರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರು ತರ್ಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಡಾಲರ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ರುಪಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಡಾಲರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಾರೆಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಜರ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಡಾಲರ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅವರ್ ಡಾಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್, the dollar outflow, not export. Dollar outflow is more than the dollar inflow. Outflow of dollar. Dollar is more. See, current account deficit ಇಂದ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು, outflow of dollar is more. When outflow of dollar is more, the demand for dollar within India going to increase or decreases. Think from a businessman point of view. Something outflow is more means the number of dollar within India going to ಹೇಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗೋದು? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್. ಸಿ, ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಫಾರೆಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು $50 ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿ $40 ಕೊಟ್ವಿ. ಸೊ 10 ಉಳಿತು. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ದ ಡಾಲರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ವೆನ್ ಡಾಲರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಾಲರ್, think from a businessman point of view, like demand for dollar increases. Demand for dollar increases. Demand for dollar increase. When some objects demand increases, its price for dollar. When demand for dollar increases, price for dollar, I mean when some object demand increases, ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. Means rupee value decreases. Rupee value decreases because to buy a $1 we must pay 100 rupees, not 50 rupees. So when CAD is there, rupee value decreases, not increase. Okay, just decrease ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು like have a overlook and understood, have a proper understand and ask me the question like where you feel difficult. ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಲೈಕ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಲರ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದಾಗ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಾಲರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ನೀವು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ತರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ತಪ್ಪಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ತಪ್ಪಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್, ಬಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಬೇರೆನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರೈಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. UPSC is becoming, year on year it is becoming difficult because of its institutions. Private institutions ಇಂದ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ UPSC ಏನೇ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅವರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಡೀಪ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. ವೆನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ವೆನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್, ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಹೇಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬನ್ನಿ. Current account surplus. Surplus means our export is more than our import. Something we are exporting means dollar inflow is more. Dollar inflow means dollar becomes cheaper in front of rupee. Means rupee becomes stronger. Rupee value going to increases. That's it. See, when there is current account deficit, how it affects our rest of the imports. Consider there is a current account deficit. How it affects the rest of our imports? Import ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Import become difficult or import is easier? Current account deficit. ಈಸಿ. ಸಿ, ನೀವು ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಲೆಸ್. ವೆನ್ ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಸಿ, ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ರೈಟ್? ಹಾಗೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್. See, when there is a current account deficit, what happens to the government liability over government schemes? Like government schemes ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ how it affects? Or government is liable to form a scheme or not? Means what happens to the government expenditure? Government expenditure going to increases. Why? They have to pay. When the people not able to maintain their basic needs, this is the duty of the government to pay for them, right? Why the people not able to maintain? Because import become difficult. Why import become difficult? Because rupee value is less. ಹೀಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್, ನೀವು ನಾನು ಏನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆನೇ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಥಿಂಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್, ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ದೆನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅದನ್ನ? ಸಿ, ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ export? Export going to increases because rupee value going to decreases. Okay, this is a big concept. Okay, ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ರಮೇಶ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ಲ ಏನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಇದು. ರಮೇಶ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯು ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರುಪಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ UPSC ವಾಟ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಥರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು, ಬಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಶಂಕರ್ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಬುಕ್ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ಲೇ ತರಿಸಿದ್ದು. ಶಂಕರ್ ಗಣೇಶ್, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಕೀ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಶಂಕರ್ ಗಣೇಶ್. ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ನಾನು ತರಿಸ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಗೆಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಏನೋ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಂತ, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ನೋಡ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ನೀವು? ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇತ್ತಾ ಹಾ ಅದೇ, ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ವರ್ಷ ವರ್ಷ. ನೋ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಪಿಂಕ್, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಎಡಿಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಲರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಲೆ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಶಂಕರ್ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರಿದೆ, ಕೀ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ರಮೇಶ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಶಂಕರ್ ಗಣೇಶಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಪೂರ ಇದೆ ರಮೇಶ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈಸಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ GDP, GNP, ಅದೇ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲಿ. ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಈ ನನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಓದಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇದೇ ಈಸಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಜೀವ್ ವರ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗುಡ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಬುಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ರಮೇಶ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ಬೇಡ, ಸಂಜೀವ್ ವರ್ಮನ ಬೇಡ, ಯಾವುದು ಬೇಡ. ಬಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಈಸಿ and difficult. In economy, the question in prelims is very easy, even in the mains, very easy. But the chain link, the link between the two dots is difficult. ಆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಬರಬೇಕು. ಈ ಥರ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ UPSC ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಮೈನ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಂತೆ, ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕ್ವಶನೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅರೈಸಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದೇ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಇರೋ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ದ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್. ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು? ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಅಗೇನ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಹಾಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ? ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡಿನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಡಿವೈಡ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂತ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಆಗೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, okay, what is CAD? Current account deficit. When there is a CAD, what happens to dollar inflow? Dollar inflow is decreases because our import is more than our export. Something we are importing means dollar outflow is more. So dollar inflow is less when there is a CAD. Okay. This is how. Take heading as a excise duty. Excise duty. Excise, EXCISE. Excise duty. Take heading as a excise duty. What custom? What? Custom duty is there. Howದು? It is after GST so many duties are removed. Even excise duty is not as standard as before. Excise duty is nothing but the duty which is there on the manufacturer head. Like when we are manufacturing, he has to pay to the government on the number of manufacturing. Like excise duty on the manufacturing. This is handled by the respective governments. And custom duty means, okay, custom duty ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? See, I told you in the before, duty means something like tariff, import and export, but this excise duty is manufacturing, right? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ರು. The custom duty is like, that is at the border. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. Consider this is a port or this is the forex reserve. Foreign country ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ and ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ foreign country ಕಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ. What is this? What is this? Export. This is inflow. Export means, import means what? Dollar outflow. Here dollar inflow. Custom duty, here we put custom duty. Depending on fiscal policy of the country or depending on the government initiative. If the government is trying to import more, then our duty here would be less. If the government is trying to decrease its import, then government duty here is more. When something here is something duty of import is more means the product which we import, the price of the product which we import going to increases. So that is become less competitive in the Indian market, right? So it is indirectly acts as a barrier for our import, right? If the government plan or government decision is to increase our export, so the duty over which at the export end is going to decreases. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್? Nobody is happy to export because you have to pay more to the government. So to make export-led growth, to make export surplus country, our duty over this door should be less. To make export-led country, to make surplus country, our duty over this door should be more. Our duty over this door should be less. This is the custom duty. This one, excess duty means this is on the manufacturers. Custom officers ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು SSC exam, this is the plan B of UPSC aspirant. If not UPSC, SSC, Staff Selection Commission. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಾರಿ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಜಾಬ್, ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಥರನೇ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, IPS ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. See, government went for fiscal stimulus. What happens to the current account of that country? Fiscal stimulus means what? Money into the hands of the people or into the account. When government pump money into the hands of people or into the market, the demand of the public going to increases, right? Demand generate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. When economy's demand increases, our import going to increases because there is lot many demand here. When our import going to increases, our trade deficit happens, so that our current account deficit happens. So current account deficit increases when country went for fiscal stimulus. ಈ ತರ ಏನೇನೋ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರಬೇಕು ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್. That is what UPSC. When fiscal stimulus happens, what happens to the rupee value? Decreases. How?
Because government is
Pumping money, more supply of money. Something from the businessman point of view. When there is more supply, the demand for that product going to decreases. So value of that product decreases. Rupee value decreases because more money. First. Next, take heading is a qualified foreign investment. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬರೆಸ್ತಾ, one is foreign institutional investment, foreign direct investment, QFI ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬರೆದಿದೆ. See, what is this foreign institutional investment? If institution from the foreign, if it wants to invest in India, that is foreign institutional investment. If the person from the foreign, if he directly wants to invest in India, that will become foreign direct investment, single individual. What is qualified foreign investment? Take that as a heading. ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿ. What? Excess duty on manufacturer. The duty which is over on the manufacturer. That's it. ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ನೋ. That is the difference between academics class and UPSC class. UPSC academics class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥನೇ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಉದ್ದ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಇನ್ UPSC. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. Take heading is a qualified foreign investment. Qualified foreign investment. QFI. Qualified. Something qualified. Qualified foreign investment. See, ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ? This is a kind of foreign investment only. And why the name qualified? Why the name qualified? This is after 2010, okay, when our Manmohan Singh became Prime Minister. You know Manmohan Singh, like he's a good economist. He's a good economist. ಅವರು even today the Hindu paper ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಎಡಿಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಬರೀತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಕಾನಮಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಡಿಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರೀತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. This is his plan, okay, Manmohan Singh plan, qualified foreign investment. 2010, that is the ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹಿಮ್ ಹಿ ನೀಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಗ್ರಾಬ್ ದಟ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ he told like, we are opening our entire economy, please you as a FPI, foreign portfolio investment, and you as a FDI, foreign direct investment, come and invest in India. But in one of the meeting, some of the investors, they told like, our investment as a FDI and FIA needs so many restrictions, like there are so many barriers in India, like legal barriers. We have to take license for set up a service sector, set up a company. So make us like, for Indians there is no restrictions. Yaru Indians same sector ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ there is no restrictions. If as a foreigner investing in the company means there is lot many restrictions at that time. So they requested Manmohan Singh like, why are differentiating in between investors? Treat us as like Indian only. Okay, that's this is the outcome of that meeting. And when he come out of that meeting and he sit and he think about that and he thought about that and he come to a conclusion like, there should be qualified foreign investment, and these foreign investors are qualified to become Indians anta. Like in a legal terms they are qualified to become Indians because they are investing in India. Qualified foreign investors, like investment is meaning itself is, if they are investing in India they are like Indians only. If they are investing in India through this account QFI, they are like Indians only. Means they don't get any fundamental rights which is prescribed for the Indians. They don't get any voting rights. They don't get any Indian other privileges. But in itself, in investment itself, they are the Indians. Investment procedure ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. But in terms of investment procedure, they are qualified to become Indians. In terms of investment procedure, they are qualified to become investment because this is the outcome of that meeting. ಆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗಿಗೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈ ವಿ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಥರನೇ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಅಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. And qualified portfolio investment, qualified foreign investment means treating foreigner investment as a Indian investment, and they are qualified to become Indians in terms of their investment anta. Okay, this is started after 2010. Okay, QFI. So somebody is investing in QFI means that is a capital investment because that is coming from the foreign. don't like, he is qualified to become Indian. So that is the Indian investment only. So there is no liability. That is a current account. That is the name. He is foreign only. Qualified to become Indian is a name. ಹೇಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್? ಎನಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 2010 ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಇವಾಗಲೂ ಇದೆ QFI. ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ GDP. They just neglected the structure of the economy. Economic structure is more important than the quantity, the number. GDP number kinta economic structure important. Okay, GDP number increase adre the division within society increases, like haves and have nots become increases. Okay, that is not good for the India kind of country, like being this much huge population. The wealth should not be concentrated. It should be decentralized wealth. Okay, this is all. ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್? ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟರಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟರಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಯಾರು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇವರು QFI, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟರಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್, DEMAT, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಬರೀತಾರೆ ಅದು, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟರಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಂದು ಪಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Yes, if something went wrong in treaty, it can be cancelled. Yesterday we discussed why India went for LPG, right? Why India went for LPG? Yes, we discussed it. No, 1991, what is the situation of India? Nim class discuss madida. Sorry. Big economy. ಹೇಳಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇ, why India went LPG? See, why India went, what is happened in 1991? 1991, don't go Iran, be in India. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆ ಥರ? ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್, ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ದು that I told, but situation, like what is the situation of India at that time? There is a financial crisis at that time. Because of the financial crisis, we need some amount, we need some loan at that time, and we went to international financial organization called IMF and World Bank, and they put some restrictions or agreement in front of us, like if you open your market, then only we will lend you, otherwise we can't. And the great Prime Minister, he agreed and opened our economy, and that become positive for India. That turns into positive for India because license Raj got diluted. Today we are having only license Raj in 5 sectors. What are the 5 sectors? Liquor, then explosives, industrial explosives, then aeronautics and defense research, then toxic chemicals, right? ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಈ ಥರದ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ರಾಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಸಿ. Why? We liberalized our economy. We privatized it. Means we went into private in all sectors. Like all sectors is allowed to open their business. In private companies are allowed to open their business in all sectors. And we globalized it. There is no barrier. There is no territorial barrier for any kind of activity. For tertiary sector, there is no barrier at all because that is a digital mode. This is how. So in the interview, ಯಾಕೆ ಎಲ್ ಪಿ ಜಿ ಹೋದ್ರು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದವರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? In interview, if they ask some question, why India went LPG? Because India was in a financial crisis situation before 1991. So our Indians went for foreign loan, foreign institutions or foreign international organizations. They convinced India to open their economy, open us economy. Otherwise, they told like we will not lend you loan. And the then government opened our economy for private investment, and it liberalized our economy, it privatized it, and it globalized our economy. Then it lent loan to the India, and India utilized that loan. And because of its liberalization, private investment came to India in the form of FDA, FIA, and everything. And after 2010, qualified foreign investment also agreed, so that tertiary investment in the tertiary sector got increased. So India become India's GDP started to increase. So 10 years back, around 20 years back, India was in a the bottom 5 country in terms of GDP. Today India is in a top 5 country in terms of GDP. Okay. ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲಿಬರಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲಿಬರಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಇಷ್ಟುದ್ದ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೆ ನಂತರ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಸ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ಲಿಬರಲೈಸೇಷನ್, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟೈಸೇಷನ್, ಗ್ಲೋಬಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಬರ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 4 ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಜೂನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಟೈಮ್. ನೀವೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋದು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೀ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರ ಅದನ್ನು? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಿರೋದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, 150 ವರ್ಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ 150 ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಫ್. ಓಕೆ, within 150 words, the word limit. A is also one word, is also one word, da is also one word, day is also one word, India one word, US one word. ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 150 ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಜಾಗ ಸಿಗೋದು. ಅಷ್ಟರೊಳಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಹೇಳೋದು. ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವೊಂದು ಈ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನೇನೋ ಬರ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 150 ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆರೋ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ 2 ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು ಆರೋ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಡ್ ತರನೇ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. CAD ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದೆನ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್, ಅವಾಗ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದೇ ಬೇಡ, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೈನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ 2-3 ವರ್ಡ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಲಂತೂ ಫುಲ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಏನು ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಫ್, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಥದ್ದೇ. ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕೆಲಿಟನ್ ತರ ಕಾಣ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಫುಲ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಲೀಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೆಸರು, ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಗೆ, ಅವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್? What is depreciation? Is depreciation devaluation is same? What is depression? ಡಿಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ದ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹೇಗೆ? There is a formula for that. Depreciation of goods, take heading is a depreciation of goods value depreciate ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ? ಲೈಕ್ ಹಾಂ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗುಡ್ ಬೈ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಒಂದು ಬಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಒಬ್ರು, ಬಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು. ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಎ ಬಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು. ಓಕೆ, 15 years ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. 15 years ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಸ್ ಇಸ್ 15 lakh. ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ 15 lakh. ಇನ್ ಲಾಕಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಇಂಜಿನು ಬರಲ್ಲ, 15 lakh. ಓಕೆ, ಬಸ್ 15 years ಓಡಿದೆ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ 15 lakh. ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ 15 lakh ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ 15 year ಓಡಿಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 1 lakh ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಏನದು 1 lakh? ಉಳಿದಿರೋ 14 lakh ಎಲ್ಲೋಯ್ತು? 14 lakh ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬಸ್ ಇದು ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈ 15 lakh divided by number of years. Number of years means this is 15 lakh. Number of years of its usage means 15 lakh 15 years means 1 year 1 lakh 1 lakh. Yes, 1 lakh is the depreciation amount of bus. 1 year is 1 lakh. Hi. ನೀವು ಕಾರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ, ಕಾರ್ ವರ್ಷ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದೇ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಯಾಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್? ಇದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಸೊ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಮಷಿನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಓಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್. ಹೌ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಟು ದಿ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗೋದು ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? 1 lakh rupees is our maintenance charge, like yes or no? Adin ಬೇಕು UPSC. See, depreciation means the cost of goods by number of years its usage means 15 lakh by 15,000 means 1 lakh per year. This I am going to tell you, 1 lakh per year is not just depreciation, it's the amount which owner is spending for its maintenance. Not, see, this looks like it's depreciation, but ಅದು ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್. ದೆನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ಮನಿ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಪಾಕೆಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ವರ್ಷ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಇಂದ ಅದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಬಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಅಸೆಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಓನರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಗುಡ್, ಹಿಸ್ ಮಷಿನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ a kind of maintenance charge of the owner for the good or the machine which he holds, right? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಯಾರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ವರ್ಷ ಓನರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಂದ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಓನರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೋಗೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದು? ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅವ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ 15 lakhs ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಅದು 15 lakhs ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, 1 lakhs ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 14 year ಒಂದು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 1 lakh ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇಯರ್ಗೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಅವನ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಓನರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಮಷಿನ್, ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್. ಚೀನಾ ಲೆಡ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೆಡ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಲಂಚ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಲಂಚ್. reunion time 2 o'clock. Okay, thank you. can live.